Hi students, how are you all? I am Advocate Arjun Grover. Let us start legal updates, judgment and legal news for the months of November and December 2019. Karnataka MLA disqualification case. 3-judge bench of Supreme Court upheld the decision of former Karnataka's Speaker order by which the former Speaker disqualified 17 Karnataka MLAs. However, the Supreme Court overruled the period of the disqualification for the disqualified MLAs and allowed them to contest in the upcoming polls in Karnataka, by-polls in Karnataka. So Karnataka's former Speaker K.R. Ramesh had ordered and disqualified the 17 MLAs until the term of current 15th Assembly, which will end in 2023. However, SC allowed the disqualification of MLAs, however, allowed them to contest elections in the upcoming by-polls in December 2019 to 15 constituencies out of 17. So let us talk about Article 193 of Indian Constitution. The scope of duty of the Speaker in exercise of his powers does not indicate that until what period the member would be barred from contesting the elections. Basically, what had happened is, in 2018 Assembly elections, Indian National Congress and JD formed a coalition government. However, in 2019, BJP won maximum seats, resulting in the 17 MLAs of coalition government gave their resignations to the Speaker, the former Speaker. Accordingly, the Speaker disqualified the MLAs under the anti-defection law, which is mentioned in 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution, to contest the elections till the period of the current Assembly. MLAs challenged it directly in the Supreme Court. So let us talk about Article 190. This article gives the power to MLA to resign the seat. However, this article also gives the power to Speaker to reject that resignation. What the anti-defection law 10th schedule says, it defines the modus operandi, the way, the method by which the members or legislatures can be disqualified on the ground of defection by the presiding officer / Speaker on the following grounds. And the grounds are that if the member resigns or gives up voluntarily the membership of the party, or if he does not obey the party leadership on a vote. So the next is, it is not that important. Jallianwala Bagh National Memorial Amendment Bill 2019 has been passed by the Parliament. This bill seeks to amend the provisions related to composition of trustees of memorial and terms of termination of the trustee. Next, the office of the Chief Justice of India comes under Right to Information Act. Supreme Court upholds the Delhi High Court order. So the Constitutional Bench of Supreme Court made way for sharing of information on the issues like assets of judges, by holding that the office of CJI comes under the definition of public authority in RTI Act. The Supreme Court upheld the landmark judgment of Delhi High Court in 2010. Supreme Court almost took 10 years to decide this issue. The Delhi High Court judgment was of about 88 pages. So the judgment, the latest judgment by Supreme Court says that PIO, Public Information Officer, should make sure that judicial independence is not harmed due to the accountability. So they should both go in hand in hand. So confidentiality in certain aspects of judicial administration should be maintained. Next is Government of India to merge the two UTs, namely Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Article 3 of the Indian Constitution includes increasing and decreasing in area while also altering the boundaries. The Parliament has the power to make law on formation of new state. So, bill can be introduced in either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, Council of States. What the bill says, the Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu merger of union territories, Bill 2019. After this merger, the number of UTs would become 8 again from 9. It became 9 due to the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh made as UTs earlier. So now it is 8 again. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both passes National Institute of Design Amendment Bill 2019. In this, 4 national institutes in the category of Institute of National Importance is to be included. Besides the National Institute of Design at Ahmedabad. So, the 4 other institutes are located at Kurukshetra, Amravati, Bhopal and Jorhat. These institutes would be able to grant degrees and diplomas after getting the status of national importance. Next, Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Bill 2019. It was commenced on 10th January 2020. So the definition of transgender according to the bill is a person whose gender does not match the gender assigned at the time of birth. So basically the move is to give a transgender person a right to self-perceived gender identity later. Punishment for sexual abuse of transgenders, imprisonment from 6 months to 2 years and with fine. Next, ban on e-cigarettes bill passed by Parliament. Prohibition of production, trade, storage and advertisement of e-cigarettes would incur imprisonment up to 1 year or fine up to 1 lakh or with both imprisonment and fine for first timer, and for habitual or second timer imprisonment up to 3 years and fine of 5 lakhs or both. Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare Dr. Harsh Vardhan, for stocking the e-cigarettes, imprisonment would be up to 6 months or fine up to rupees 50,000 or both. Data Protection Bill 2019 proposed by government. Bill seeks to preserve the sanctity, the permission of consent in data sharing and penalize those who breach privacy norms. Joint committee from both the houses, lower and upper, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, The joint committee would be consisting of 20 members of Lok Sabha and 10 members from the Rajya Sabha, and the quorum has to be maintained as 1/3 of total members of joint committee to conduct its meeting. Supreme Court in 2017 upheld the right to privacy as a fundamental right. It was earlier also drafted, and the draft was prepared by the earlier high-level expert group headed by former Supreme Court Judge B.N. Shri Krishna. However, that could not be approved, and now the present draft has some changes than the earlier one, like power of center to exempt government from this legislation on grounds of national security as opposed to privacy. Another edge to the government is for giving better services to citizens through research and development, so the government can use non-personal data for the purposes bill provides rules for collection, handling and storage of personal data of the individuals in India and abroad. So data would be divided into 3 types: a critical data, general data and sensitive data. Critical data would be which would be rarely used by the government for the research and development purposes for the betterment of the society or general public, and the general data would be which would be neither critical nor sensitive, and the sensitive data would be passwords, personal information, biometric, religion, etc. Next, for the extension of reservation of SC/ST in Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies for another 10 years, 126th constitutional amendment bill was passed in Rajya Sabha, and members with the amendment were 163 votes, and against there was none. In Lok Sabha, in the same way, for the amendment 352 and against none was there. The bill, before coming into force, has to be ratified at least by 50% of the state's legislative assemblies. The need so developed because of scheduled expiration of reservation period, and that is on 25th January 2020. Bill seeks to extend it till 25th January 2030 for 10 years. However, no extension for Anglo-Indian community, that will also expire on 25th of January 2020, by saying that there are only 296 Anglo-Indians in the country. However, it would be considered later. The provisions for reservation of seats and special representation of Anglo-Indians are laid in Article 334 of Indian Constitution, and it was included in the year 1949 for initially 40 years. However, it is being extended for 10 years since then. The constitutional amendment is mentioned in Article 368. So there are 2 types of amendment, basically 2 types of amendments. One is the amendment by special majority, and the other is amendment by special majority plus ratification by 50% of state legislative assemblies. Now, this amendment would be the second one, the special majority also and ratification by the 50% of the state legislative assemblies. So what is special majority? Special majority requires consent of 2/3 members present and voting in the house, and those 2/3 members should be more than the 50% of the total strength of the house present and voting. The next is Anti-Maritime Bill, introduced in lower house by External Affairs Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar. According to section 3 of the bill provides for life imprisonment or death penalty to those indulged in acts of sea piracy. The proposed law is aimed at promoting safety and security to the India's maritime trade, including its crew members. Bill got introduced some days after the 18 Indians aboard a crude oil carrier were kidnapped off the coast of Nigeria. So the bill is an outcome of India's commitment to the UN Convention on the Law of Sea, UN clause, which concluded in 1982. India ratified it in 1995. UN clause UNCLOS was framed at third UN conference. There is, however, no direct role to be played by the UN in the implementation of UNCLOS, UN clause. Next, Arms Amendment Bill 2019 to amend Arms Act 1959. The bill seeks to decrease the number of firearms licensed, of course, allowed per person, while also increasing penalties in case of violation. Earlier it was 3, now it will become 1 licensed weapon. Within 1 year, the excess firearms, more than one, is mandatory to be deposited at the nearest police station, as the excess firearms will be delicensed within 90 days from the expiration of 1 year. Bill, however, exempts sportsperson to practice in tournaments instead of only 22 bore rifles or air rifles. So duration of firearm license validity has also been increased to 5 years from 3 years earlier. Bill also increases the punishment for acquiring, possessing or carrying unlicensed firearms to imprisonment between 7 to 14 years along with fine. New offences have also been added, like forcefully taking firearm from police or armed forces, imprisonment of 14 years to life imprisonment along with fine could be imposed. Using of firearm in celebratory gunfire, imprisonment up to 2 years or fine up to 1 lakh or both. Next, Disha Bill, Andhra Pradesh Criminal Law Amendment Bill. Disha Act came into force in order to fast track the trial of crimes against women and children. The state existing time period was 4 months. The case has to be closed in 4 months. Now it has been reduced to 21 days. So 14 days trial and within 21 days judgment should come out. POCSO Act, Sexual Abuse Against Children. So increased to 10 years imprisonment from earlier 3 to 5 years. So it has also been made stringent. Cabinet also improved Special Court for Specified Offences Against Women and Children, Act 2019. So Disha Act now lays down that 14 days for trial and judgment within 21 days for acid attack cases and rape cases, etc. The cases would be tried under section 354F of IPC, and section 354E says that punishment for uploading degrading material against the women on social media, first timers would be getting 2 years imprisonment and the second timers would be getting 4 years. Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order Second Amendment Bill 2019 for the Karnataka rules under Part 6. Rajya Sabha passes it. So the tribes belonging to Parivara and Talavara to be included in the scheduled tribes list to ensure that they get reservation and other benefits by the government. So it would be added in the list of Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order 1950, and by getting included in it the Parivara and Talavara would be deemed scheduled tribes. So, Siddhi tribes of Belagavi and Dharwad also to be included in that list. It proposes to amend as following: Naikda Nayaka, including Parivara and Talavara. This will be included in the list as it is. Currently, only Siddhi tribe of Uttar Kannada is included in that list in the part 6 for Karnataka of the rules and orders under the constitution. Next, Assamese to be the state language of Assam, excluding Bodoland Territorial Administrative Districts BTAD, Barak Valley and Hill districts of the state. So cabinet suggested that it should be compulsory in schools also. Central government will amend Article 345 of the Constitution of India for this. It would have to amend basically. The need arises because at present Assam has Bodo and Assamese both official languages, and at some places Bengali is also used as official language. Now the state may adopt one or more state languages as official languages under Article 345, but subject to the requirements of Article 346 and 347. So the center would have to amend it to give effect to this amendment. Thank you.